The last thing I want to recap on with you before we end the training is this 10-30-60 rule. And we're primarily going to focus on this middle 30%, although it's also important to the top 10% for the rest of the training. Now, what this is, this 10-30-60 rule, it equates to 100. So 100%. You have your top 10 percenters, you have your middle 30% group. This is kind of the average Joes, the average Janes. And then you have your bottom 60%. And these are just people that'll cycle out of the sales program, okay? And so you have your top 10 percenters, your middle group, the average Joes. That middle group of people are the people that will just show up with a good attitude and they'll do the work and they'll follow your instruction, but they're not top 10 percenters like these guys. And they need to be trained up into the position and managed into the position. And again, the bottom 60% are just the people that say, yeah, I do want to make six figures. Yeah, I am a hard worker. And they say all the right things in the recruiting process, but then they show up and they're flaky and they don't do the work necessary for success, right? So 60% is going to cycle out. And again, this is just to illustrate the idea or the point. Your numbers may not be perfect like this, but the point is at least 60% on average are going to cycle out of the sales program. The top 10 percenters, those are people like you and I, most likely if you're an experienced salesperson, where we can be thrown into any type of opportunity and have success because we have that figured out factor. We know how to get kicked in the teeth and just kind of work through the pain of success, and we'll do whatever that's required to see success. This middle 30% doesn't have what these guys have, but again, they'll show up and do the work and follow your instruction, and we need to be able to train and manage them well and ideally provide them a good commission-based compensation plan so that we actually have a chance of retaining these people, okay? So in the following modules of onboarding sales reps, managing sales reps, and compensating sales reps, it's going to be designed around this middle group of people. Once you can build a sales program, a commission-based sales program that allows you to recruit, onboard, manage, compensate, and retain this middle group of people, you can literally print cash. Now, the things that we're going to talk about in the onboarding, managing, and compensation aspect of this free course are also important to the 10%. Companies, typically small businesses, typically falsely assume that, hey, I just need somebody that's a hard worker, that's really familiar with my industry, and they just need to plug in and do the job, and they're going to see success, and I'm going to get rich, and it should just be easy if I can find the right person. But that's not the nature of what it looks like to build a commission-based sales team. Now, you can have that perspective if you have a top 1% to top 5% sales opportunity, but if you're anything like our clients from a candidate's perspective, you don't, and therefore you need to build your program for that middle group. But also, you need to understand that if your onboarding, compensation, your management is not dialed, even when you get lucky through the recruiting process that we discussed today, you will not retain those top 10 percenters, because if they come on board and your onboarding sucks, your management sucks, your compensation sucks, your culture sucks, then they're going to be like, I deserve and know I can get better, and therefore I'm leaving. So the rest of the training is going to be about retaining the top 10% in this middle 30% of the group. It's not just about pumping the bodies into the sales program, it's about retaining them, resulting in the sales production.